My wife, our great first lady, she was a great friend. People loved her.
Imagine a journey that begins in a small town in Slovenia and ends in the grandeur of the White House. Alongside a $70 million fortune, Melania Trump, the enigmatic former First Lady of the United States, has captivated the world not only with her grace and elegance but also with her mysterious, often hidden story. Behind the designer gowns and lavish lifestyle lies a tale of ambition, resilience, and surprising entrepreneurial acumen. The final twist in her journey will leave you speechless. From Slovenia to global stardom, born in 1970 in the humble town of Sevnica, Slovenia, Melania's early years were marked by a middle-class upbringing. Her father, Victor, was a car dealer, while her mother, Elijah, worked as a fashion designer. Surrounded by creativity, Melania developed an early passion for beauty and style. At just 16, she stepped into the modeling world. Despite skepticism from industry insiders, critics doubted her potential for international success. But Melania's determination was unshakable. Her persistence paid off when she signed with an agency in Milan, modeling for high-profile brands like Chanel, Versace, and Dior. By 1996, Melania had made the bold move to New York City, gracing magazine covers and landing iconic campaigns with top-tier luxury brands. A life-changing meeting with Donald Trump. In 1998, at a star-studded New York Fashion Week party, Melania's path crossed with billionaire Donald Trump. The chemistry between them was instant. By 2005, the two married in a lavish ceremony at Mar-a-Lago, with Melania dazzling in a $100,000 Christian Dior gown. As the First Lady, she stood as a pillar of poise and grace amid relentless scrutiny. Her Be Best initiative focused on children's well-being and online safety, showcasing her dedication to making a difference. Despite the challenges of a polarized political landscape, Melania's empire, a wealth of independence beyond the public eye. Melania has quietly built a financial empire that defies expectations. She launched her own jewelry line on QVC in 2010, reflecting her timeless style and entrepreneurial spirit. More recently, she ventured into NFTs, making a bold statement in the digital art and blockchain space with pieces like Melania's vision. Her real estate portfolio is equally impressive, including a luxurious penthouse in Trump Tower and properties in Slovenia. These investments have ensured her financial independence, proving she's much more than a figure in her husband's shadow. Melania's private world. Melania is one of the most private first ladies in U.S. history. While Donald Trump thrives in the spotlight, Melania carefully protects her personal life, especially her son, Barron. She's a hands-on mother, ensuring Barron has a disciplined upbringing enriched by his Slovenian heritage and a top-tier education. Her elegance extends to her car collection, featuring a Rolls-Royce Phantom, Bentley Continental GT, and Porsche 911 Carrera, all reflecting her sophisticated taste. Even as a child, Melania stood out. Her teachers described her as disciplined and intelligent, excelling in languages and the arts. But her ambitions extended beyond the borders of Slovenia. Inspired by her mother's work in fashion and her exposure to magazines, Melania set her sights on a career that would take her far from the quiet streets of Sevnica. In her early 20s, Melania left Slovenia to pursue her dreams in Milan, Italy, a hub for high fashion. Despite initial setbacks and criticism from some insiders who doubted her runway appeal, Melania's determination pushed her forward. She worked tirelessly to prove her critics wrong, landing her first major campaign for the fashion house Porter. Melania's work ethic and adaptability quickly set her apart. She became a chameleon on the runway, able to embody the elegance of haute couture and the allure of commercial fashion. By the early 1990s, she was working with iconic brands like Chanel, Dior, and Versace. Her move to Paris cemented her status as one of Europe's rising stars in the modeling world. But Melania's ultimate dream was to conquer the fashion capital of the world, New York City. In 1996, she took a leap of faith, moving to the Big Apple with nothing but ambition and a portfolio of photographs. It was here that her career reached new heights, gracing the covers of Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and New York Magazine. Her refined European beauty and ability to adapt to various styles made her a favorite among photographers like Patrick de Marchelier and Bruce Weber. Melania also became one of the first models to successfully bridge the gap between high fashion and mass-market advertising, working with luxury brands like Chanel and Dior while appearing in high-profile commercials for brands like Jeep and Fendi. Yet, for all her success, Melania remained grounded. She was a woman with a plan, strategic, hardworking, and focused. These traits would soon prove instrumental when fate introduced her to a man who would forever change the course of her life, Donald Trump. Meeting Donald Trump. It was 1998, and the glittering world of New York City's elite was at its peak. Lavish events brought together billionaires, fashion icons, and celebrities her world Melania now had worked hard to become part of. At one such event during New York Fashion Week, her life took a dramatic turn. The venue, a star-studded party at the Kit Kat Club, among the crowd of powerful figures and beautiful people. Melania caught the attention of none other than Donald Trump, the high-profile real estate mogul and one of New York's most eligible bachelors. Trump, who was then separated from his second wife, Marla Maples, was immediately captivated by Melania's beauty and poise. Ever the charmer, he approached her, eager to make a connection. But Melania, cautious and self-assured, didn't make it easy. When Donald asked for her phone number, she instead requested his, a move that intrigued him even more. This initial interaction set the tone for their relationship, one built on mutual fascination and Melania's ability to hold her own in Trump's larger-than-life world. Their courtship quickly became the subject of media attention, with paparazzi capturing their outings at high-end restaurants and galas. Melania, however, remained grounded, focused on maintaining her modeling career while navigating her new relationship. For nearly 7 years, the couple dated, weathering both media scrutiny and personal challenges. Despite their differences, Donald's outspoken nature contrasted with Melania's quiet demeanor. They found a balance. Melania was often described as a calming influence on Trump, offering unwavering support while avoiding the limelight. In 2005, after years of courtship, Donald and Melania tied the knot in one of the most extravagant weddings of the decade. The ceremony was held at Mar-a-Lago, Trump's luxurious estate in Palm Beach, Florida. It was a spectacle of wealth and opulence, attended by A-list celebrities, politicians, and billionaires. Melania's gown was nothing short of iconic $100,000 custom Christian Dior creation adorned with intricate embroidery and a 13-foot train. The event made headlines around the world, solidifying Melania's place in high society. The couple's wedding was more than just a celebration of love. It was a union of two powerful figures. For Melania, this marked the beginning of a new chapter, one that would eventually lead her to the highest seat of influence as the First Lady of the United States. Following their marriage, Melania shifted her focus from modeling to supporting Donald's ventures while carving out her own identity. She became a fixture at high-profile events, blending seamlessly into Trump's fast-paced world of business and media. Despite the glitz, Melania maintained her signature discretion, preferring to let her actions speak louder than her words. But even with their high-profile lives, Melania and Donald shared a unique bond. Friends described them as a Team Melania, the reserved and poised counterpart to Donald's bombastic and commanding presence. This balance would later prove crucial as the Trumps entered the uncharted waters of a political campaign. In 2015, Donald Trump announced his bid for the presidency, catapulting Melania into a spotlight she had largely avoided. As the campaign gained momentum, Melania stood by her husband, offering quiet support while maintaining her own privacy. The media's attention on her intensified, scrutinizing everything from her fashion choices to her public speeches. Though she rarely spoke publicly during the campaign, when she did, her words carried weight. Melania's speech at the Republican National Convention in 2016 was both praised and criticized, showcasing her complex relationship with the public eye. While many admired her grace, others questioned her authenticity, especially after a controversial incident involving similarities to a previous First Lady's speech. On November 8, 2016, history was made. Donald Trump was elected as the 45th President of the United States, and Melania became the first foreign-born First Lady since Louisa Adams in the 19th century. The world watched as Melania stepped into one of the most visible roles in American politics, leaving many to wonder, what kind of First Lady would she be? Becoming the First Lady of the United States is a transformation like no other. For Melania Trump, it meant stepping into an unrelenting spotlight, one that scrutinized her every move, word, and wardrobe choice. As the first foreign-born First Lady in nearly 200 years, her role was historic, but it came with immense challenges. On January 20th, 2017, Melania Trump stood beside her husband as he was sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. Wearing a powder blue Ralph Lauren ensemble, she paid subtle homage to Jackie Kennedy, a choice that sparked comparisons and set the tone for her approach to the role. But while the public admired her elegance, Melania faced criticism and questions about her preparedness for the position. Unlike many of her predecessors, she had no prior experience in public service or political activism. Her reserved nature and decision to remain in New York City for the first 6 months of her husband's presidency so their son, Barron, could finish school added fuel to the fire. Despite the initial skepticism, Melania wasted no time defining her priorities. Her Be Best initiative, launched in May 2018, focused on the well-being of children with an emphasis on combating cyberbullying, promoting emotional health, and fostering responsible online behavior. Though her efforts were met with mixed reviews, the initiative highlighted Melania's commitment to making a positive impact. Critics often pointed out the irony of addressing cyberbullying while her husband was known for his combative online presence, but Melania remained steadfast, saying, "I'm here to help children, not to focus on the negative." One of the most polarizing moments of Melania's tenure came June 2018 during a visit to a Texas detention center housing migrant children. The jacket she wore there, piece emblazoned with the words, "I really don't care, do you?" sparked outrage and endless speculation about its meaning. While the First Lady's office dismissed it as just a jacket, the incident underscored the intense scrutiny Melania faced. For her supporters, it was an example of her independence. For her critics, it symbolized a lack of empathy. Yet through it all, Melania remained unfazed, rarely addressing the controversies head-on. Melania's fashion sense became a hallmark of her role, earning her comparisons to iconic First Ladies like Jacqueline Kennedy and Michelle Obama. From her stunning Dolce & Gabbana coat at the 2017 G7 summit to her dramatic yellow gown at a state dinner in London, Melania used clothing to convey strength, elegance, and sometimes subtle messages. As First Lady, Melania also represented the United States on the global stage, meeting with world leaders and attending high-profile events. Her poised demeanor and carefully curated appearances stood in stark contrast to the often chaotic nature of her husband's presidency. Behind the scenes, Melania focused on her work, balancing her duties as First Lady with her role as a mother. For Melania, the well-being of her son, Barron, remained a top priority, even as the demands of the presidency intensified. Her decision to keep Barron out of the public eye was a deliberate one. Melania worked tirelessly to ensure he had as normal an upbringing as possible, despite the extraordinary circumstances of their lives. As the Trump administration entered its final year, Melania continued her efforts to leave a lasting legacy. From renovating the White House Rose Garden to hosting diplomatic events, she remained an enigmatic figure both admired and criticized in equal measure. Her tenure as First Lady may not have been defined by fiery speeches or sweeping reforms, but Melania's quiet strength and focus on her own priorities set her apart. For her supporters, she was a symbol of grace under pressure. For her detractors, a figure of mystery who rarely revealed her true thoughts. In her farewell address, Melania urged Americans to prioritize kindness, unity, and family. No matter the circumstances, she said, always choose love over hate, peace over violence, and others before yourself. Her words offered a glimpse into the values that guided her through one of the most challenging roles in modern history.